We're back with Radio Faces at our HCC Main Street studios. We're going around the league. Where you want to start?
I want to start in Oakland. I believe it will be a great story if they could finish this season off and end up winning the division the same year that the owner passed. But my question to you and to everybody out there listening, can they do it? Can they hold the #1 spot? They're 6-4 right now. They're ahead of Denver. They're ahead of Kansas City and San Diego, who I think San Diego might have a chance to turn their season around and leapfrog over the other two teams to take the #1 spot. But with Oakland playing pretty good ball right now, you have to look to their season. And they have Chicago coming up, Miami, who's playing pretty good ball of late, Green Bay, and Detroit. Do you think they could hold on to that #1 spot?
I do not, because God wants Tim Tebow to win. Because how else is Tebow winning when he can't throw the ball? I think Denver is going to win, and if you pull against Tebow, it's like you're pulling against God. And who's going to pull against God?
Nobody.
Not you and not me. So Oakland is the devil. Everybody knows the Raiders and Al Davis, even though Al's gone. Hey, Al, you hope it's hey, Al.
Which way? Just look straight when you say hi to him.
I still think it's going to be the Broncos. Now, who do you think's got the best division in the league?
Right now, I think NFC North. When you talk about what Green Bay is doing, Detroit, Chicago, these teams are just really playing very good ball. Minnesota is the only team in that division that it doesn't have a winning record, that isn't doing anything, that's not going to make the playoffs. And the NFL.com power rankings, 3 of the NFC North teams are in the top 9, and I don't think that's just for the .coms or for the articles out there. This team, this division, they're very strong.
I mentioned Tim Tebow, and I think Tebow's great for the league. I love watching the guy, and I think it's a great story in the way people are so divisive. I hear people say, well, Deion Sanders, who asked some of the dumbest questions I've ever heard, said, why do so many people in the media hate you? Nobody hates the guy. It's just a lot of them think he's not a legitimate NFL quarterback. And his own team president said they're still looking for a regular NFL quarterback, and that would be John Elway. Now, there's another player on that team, not getting a lot of recognition, but he's on the verge of a record, and that's not Tim Tebow. Who is it?
That's Von Miller from Texas A&M. This guy's playing great ball, pass rushing the quarterback. And when they drafted him, I didn't know where they were going to stick him because they run that 4-3, and you felt like he was still a little bit light in his shoes to be playing a down defensive end. But they put him in a very good situation, have him rushing the passer, 90% of all pass rushing downs, and he's answering the call. It looks like he's going to threaten Javon Curse's rookie record of 14.5 sacks. He has 9.5 already, and they have 6 games to go. So what Von Miller is doing needs to be talked about, and because of the Tim Tebow sensation, people aren't talking about it. But Von Miller is putting together a very, very good rookie year.
His competition is Aldon Smith, the third-year sophomore from Missouri who was taken 7th by San Francisco. That's the guy the Texans wanted to play outside linebacker. He's right behind him in sacks. Of course, their defense is great. What a story the 49ers are. Now, I want to jump over to Tennessee. Titans have lost. They lost to Atlanta. They're 2 games back. Jacksonville, of course, and Indy got no prayer. How did the Texans keep from getting complacent when they got that 2-game lead and they own the first game tiebreaker?
Well, they respect every team that they play. We talked about it earlier in the show. You take it one game at a time, and you don't worry about what Tennessee's doing. If you're not worried about Tennessee, Jacksonville, or Indianapolis until you play them, you'll be just fine, because the Texans, if they go 4-2, we're talking about a great regular season run. Even if they go 3-3, I still think they win the AFC South. So it's all in their hands, and they don't think about any other team. That's how they finish off this pretty good regular season.
Now, I know you're a busy man. You're an real estate entrepreneur, and you got a lot of things going on in the media, but your Eagles win a big game. VY comes out of nowhere to win a game, and for the first time this year, when I saw your list, they weren't on them. Why disrespecting the Eagles all of a sudden?
Because they're out of it. They're not in the playoffs, and as you know, it's not like Houston where you have that Southern hospitality. When you're in Philadelphia, when you're playing the NFL on the East Coast, if you're not going to the playoffs, then your season was.
So you don't think they can win out and go 10-6?
No, I don't.
Because even the way they looked in that game, and even the way they looked against the Cowboys,
they looked good, but I just don't see them winning out, and I don't see the New York Giants taking that many steps back.
They got a quarterback controversy. What do you think? That's
not a quarterback controversy. Michael Vick is the starter when he's healthy. He's the most explosive quarterback in the game when he's healthy, and Vince Young is not going to take him from his starting position.
What do you think about Vince coming in? He threw, I think, 3 interceptions, but when game was on the line. He had an 18-play drive through the winning touchdown pass.
It was very Tebow-like. You know, everybody wants to talk about Tebow when he has 55 minutes of ineffectiveness at the quarterback position, then he has one last game-winning drive. They put him on a pedestal. Well, if you're going to do that for his on-field play, you need to put Vince Young on the same pedestal for what he did in this past week.
Tebow makes Vince Young look like Johnny Unitas when he's throwing the ball. Cowboys are tied for first place. Who would have thunk it? 6-4, tied with the Giants. They have a really easy schedule. The Giants have an incredibly hard schedule before they meet for the first 2 times. Who's going to win the division?
I still think the Giants are going to squeak it out because they're going to play tougher competition and it's going to prepare them for the end of this season. But the Dallas Cowboys, I called it early in the season. I just felt like they had too much talent not to have a better year than they were having early on. DeMarco Murray has emerged as their #1 running back. When you talk about Romo, Miles Austin, Dez Bryant, who could be the next Michael Irvin, the best pass rusher in the game, DeMarcus Ware, and Lee, the middle linebacker from Penn State, who's becoming one of the best young linebackers in the NFL. They just have too much talent to go around for them not to have success.
I got to ask you this. It's not on our list, but Jay Cutler's out, Caleb Haney. Can the Bears, winning 5 in a row, still make the playoffs?
No. Simple answer.